Welcome back to the Oh Brother podcast and another first look. And we're going to do this is one that you recommended, which is a movie called Air. But look, let's jump into this first look.
Yeah, why don't we get to the
and
first
then we'll
look?
comment some more after we take a gander at this. So,
All right.
This is first look. This is Air from Skydance Media, which we'll talk a little bit about as well.
1984 has been a tough year. Our sales are down, our growth is down.
Sonny, I brought you in here to grow the basketball business.
People don't know what the hell a Nike is.
What's a Converse?
NBA All-Star shoe.
There's nothing cool about Nike.
You would have to have a pretty compelling pitch.
I can tell them the one thing the other companies can't compete with. Our basketball division is terrible.
I do not love it. This is where you come up with a brilliant idea that no one else can see. Let's hear it.
I got it. I found them.
Who's that? Jesus? Can't afford it.
I'm willing to bet my career on one guy.
My name's Sonny Vaccaro. I'm with Nike.
Do you typically make it a habit of showing up at people's front doors unannounced?
I don't like to take no for an answer.
Oh, man. Here we go.
You ask me what I do here. This is what I do. I find you players, and I feel it this time. Yeah, okay, it's risky. When you were selling sneakers out of the back of your Plymouth, that was risky. Don't change that now.
For a rookie?
Yes.
Who's never set foot on an NBA court.
That's the literal definition of rookie. Yeah.
What's the plan?
We build a shoe line around just him.
I need the greatest basketball shoe that's ever been made.
Who's the player?
Michael Jordan.
Your motor
You have our attention.
I believe in your son. I believe he's the future. And his story is gonna make us want to fly. But a shoe is just a shoe.
Until my son steps into it.
You got a name for it?
Air Jordan.
I don't know.
Seriously?
Maybe it'll grow on me.
Interesting release date. Did you pick up on that?
5th?
April 5th
Yeah. There's something happened on that
in
day.
select theaters. Yeah, there's something going on April 5th. I don't know what it is. I like Ben Affleck and I like Matt Damon a lot. So, but you told me about this. Give us a quick synopsis of what this is about.
Basically, back in, I guess it was the 70s, 80s, maybe? When did, Michael Jordan, it's based on
I'd say very early 80s.
very early 80s, probably. Yeah. Because in the early 80s, it was the Celtics, 76ers, and Lakers. And then Jordan was more of a 90s winner. But basically, this is the story of Nike wanting to use Michael Jordan's image on their sneaker. And he did, at the time, he wouldn't give his image away to anybody. And boy, did that change, because he went from like nothing to everywhere. He was on hot dogs. He was
I remember
on
one of the big things, wasn't it, when he was starting to hawk for was it McDonald's or Burger King? Remember, it was like wasn't there a Larry Bird and Michael Jordan commercial for
those were Magic Johnson.
Was that
and
Magic
Larry
Johnson?
Bird?
Oh, was
Yeah.
it really?
They were
Oh,
hawking for Converse.
Yeah.
Larry
Well,
Bird was always hawking from McDonald's.
Jordan had his share of fast
Jordan
food commercials.
Ballpark Franks.
Now, I have to
think.
say, first of all, did you notice, give it
Yeah,
up.
the 617 area code.
And who is this?
That's the number one team in the NBA right now, the
But
Boston
number one
Celtics,
of the Celtics.
who got booed off their home court last night. I
Mike
want you to know.
not coming out with the number one for the Celtics. This was, of course, Phil Esposito.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm wearing my that'd be the old
Ted Williams.
the
Ted
old
Williams.
617. No, Ted Williams was number 9. The old 617 area code, number one hockey team in the league as well for hockey. But now this is just a total coincidence, I swear to God. But you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
I still have 617, by the way. Oh, he's got some Nikes on, but
These
they're
are
those
these are Nike Airs,
they are now.
and these are Celtics. These are Celtics
Nice.
socks.
Well,
Yeah,
I like seeing that.
yeah.
Now, so Nike Air is still the most popular sneaker, right?
Well, I would
Adidas
say
is
so.
moving up.
It's funny. I was just in the Nike store today,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at some Nikes. You know, and they're not my favorite brand, but they do have a brand called Nike Free, I think it's called, and they're very lightweight, and they're good running shoes. But I was looking at a pair of Air Jordans,
Mm-hmm.
and but then I saw a line from LeBron now has this pretty funky line. I tried on some of those, and
Oh,
You know,
so he's pitching Nike too, huh?
he's pitching Nike too. so-
Interesting.
but I imagine that Air Jordan's still got to be like the top.
They got to be the top seller.
Yeah.
I mean, you would get killed for those back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. They were just. Now, the killer is I could never wear Nikes because no matter what version they put out a very hard.
It's not like that.
I
anymore.
know it's different, but
Right, Mike. This is.
I'm
another
talking
thing.
about back in the day.
It'll be the year 2075 if we're still on this
When
earth.
I was
Yeah,
your age.
Those Nike arches used to hurt my. It's like
I love
it's,
that Jason Bateman's in it, man.
Well, so all right, so let's run this down. So Viola Davis, who's apparently contracted to be in every film that's released in this century.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, who plays Phil Knight and also directs, as you heard.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon plays Sonny Vaccaro, as we heard. Jason Bateman, as you mentioned. And Gustav Skarsgård. Chris Messina. Chris Tuckers is in it. Marlon Wayans. It's a pretty big cast.
Right.
I got to tell you, though, I was like, okay. Just like, see, this is one to me that I could see streaming on Hulu in April. Like, I don't see this in the theater.
I don't see it in the theater.
I don't see this making a lot of bank, guys. I'm sorry. Even with these two titans of the industry,
Right.
Interestingly, this is only an hour and 52-minute runtime. That's interesting. That's rare these days.
An hour 52? I mean,
Hour
that's-
52.
That's almost 2 hours.
Yeah, but that's nothing by today's standards,
Yeah, that's a problem,
Yeah.
They need to go back to the 90-minute threshold, but I love
So what's your take? You're one
I
of the
love the
biggest NBA.
cast.
You're one of the biggest NBA fans I know.
Yeah,
You certainly know a lot about Jordan.
right.
We
I
know.
mean, it's interesting because it starts in 1984. We were
84.
talking early, okay, when
that was his rookie year.
it was in the
It's-
80s. Now, he might have still been in college because he played 4
Okay.
years for North
But
Carolina.
84, 85, somewhere around there had to be.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
when Converse was the big shoe
Yeah,
because
right.
Larry Bird and Magic Johnson both wore Converse and they were both, head to head.
Mhm.
But Jordan comes in and he's by himself basically.
84, 85.
That was his first year.
Jordan scored the league's highest number of points, averaging 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, and 2.4 steals per game in the 84-85 season.
Now you got to give it to Sonny Vaccaro because, I remember watching Michael Jordan, and they were a great team in North Carolina, but they were a team. And when he started to play for the Bulls, it was all Jordan, and then Pippen kind of came in to be a strong second, but he was clear, and Pippen's really bitter over this whole thing. If you watch The Last Dance, which I think I gave you, didn't I? Last time you were here? If you watch The Last Dance and hear Jordan talk about it, he talks like it's me, it's all about me. We won those championships because, he left, remember, to go play baseball for a couple of years. And there's rumors about that. There's a whole conspiracy theory that Michael Jordan was a big gambler. I don't know if he still is, but big time gambler like Barkley. Only Barkley comes right out and admits it. Jordan kind of wants the image, so he doesn't come out.
I don't know. I don't see this making a lot of filling a lot of seats. in
There's a lot of
theaters.
Jordan.
This to
fans
me
out
is
there.
a weird choice for the theaters. I think this should be an HBO Max, Apple TV, something. or
I
other.
agree with you there, but I think to think about his audience. People love Air Jordans that never watched them play a game, you know,
But I don't, I just don't think it's like I think more people will care about the history of Tetris than they will.
I mean, that's a pretty good comparison though, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying in my head, who's going to watch a movie about Tetris?
Mhm.
But
that was much more engaging, at least from the trailer.
yeah.
Plus, I
and
didn't
there's-
know any of that. You know, this is like, I just don't know that it's that riveting a storyline. And I
don't
heard you
know.
didn't make any fuss about based on true or inspired by true
I saw
events.
that. No, I saw that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is where they're going to take some license with the parents and,
Right.
you know, God knows what else. But obviously, Jordan has to give his blessing for
Mhm.
this. I don't know
Gonna,
if he's involved at all.
gonna sell a
or
whole lot more Air Jordans, I'm sure, as a result.
Probably
There'll be
probably.
one that'll be marketed just based on the movie.
based on the
probably.
movie,
Yeah.
Air movie, or whatever they, you know.
Yeah.
It's just
the Air
funny when-
Jordan IMAX 3000.
I love when Matt Damon looks at Jason Bateman and says, you know, what do we, or Bateman says, what do they got? We don't. Well, we have a shitty basketball
Yeah,
division. He says,
I don't love it.
love that.
Yeah, I'm not loving that.
That's
not a great pitch.
That's
yeah.
such Jason.
Yeah, this
Bateman.
seems like I was hoping for a lot more. And you know, if you're going to direct, I mean, I guess he was just trying to look as much like Phil Knight as he could. But good lord, with
Yeah.
that hair is rough.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just remember him with kind of an
Yeah.
afro.
He was probably
beard.
staying out in the guest mansion during that period. J-Lo probably wouldn't let him into the main.
Oh, you're
house.
talking about Ben Affleck. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was talking about the real guy.
He's like, yeah, you and your wig stay out in the guest house. You got
Yeah.
no business in here. Well, I don't know. This it seems like this.
I think this and Tetris are going to be too. But see, the thing
they
is,
should
we're
call
not
this
going to know.
They should call
anything
this
about-
deflated, not air, because it just doesn't look that great.
I don't know. I'm interested in seeing these guys together.
Remember that? Remember D Brown with the pumps when he
Yeah.
did the old,
that was
the
Reebok.
pumps.
That was
Yeah,
Reebok.
yeah, just yeah. There you go. You got April 5th, folks. I can think of some other things that I'll be celebrating on that day rather than watching Air. I can tell you that. So.
I'll probably be at the theater watching Air.
No, you won't. There's no way this gets your ass in the theater.
No,
No way.
not in this.
But besides the
day and
fact,
age.
you'll still be coming off your high from the haunted mansion at that point. Now that's a few months later. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for another first look with the Oh Brother podcast. Been your host Dan Smith, alongside me as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.